Much for one social worker to handle. Can you imagine having to juggle 30 assignments at any given time?
Yes. Firstly, what I'm about to say is in no means to excuse the oversight of anyone or to put blame on anyone. Okay, I just want to share what a caseload for a social worker really feels like and looks like. Parliament, this is for you too. You probably cannot tell, but before I came into acting and content creation, I was a social worker for almost 5.5 years working in hospitals, so more specifically, medical social worker. Now, it was the most anxiety-inducing time of my life, but that's not why I left. If you're interested, that will be a story for another day. I probably missed something somewhere, but where on earth this 30 came from? Because it definitely was not the reality for me, or was I delulu? So today, I want to share with you a breakdown of what caseload really looks like so that you get a rough idea of how emotionally, mentally, and physically overwhelming it is. Disclaimer, now this is just my experience and it varies across different industries and centers. So I hope it is not the norm and I hope it gets better. But if it is, then Parliament, this is for you. Alright, let's get down to it. So in a week, I get 7 to 8 outpatient cases and the slots are always booked. Outpatient means that they just come in to renew their assistance or to apply for assistance. In a week, 7 to 8 means in a month, 28 to 32. Okay, we average out to 30. Then, because in the hospital, you also see inpatient, meaning that they are already warded and they requested for medical social work assistance. We go down to their wards to talk to them, right? That is about 2 patients a day. Okay, in a week, 10 patients. So how many we have already in a month? 40 inpatient. How many 30 plus 40? 70 a month. So maybe you might be thinking 70 cases, but then if you close the case, it's lesser already what? Well, yeah, I hope so. But the thing is, with each case, once the patient comes to find you, there's still the follow-up that needs to be done. Follow-up like you need to do the actual application, put documentation of what you have discussed. Then sometimes, or rather most times, because applications require supporting documents, you need to wait for the supporting documents from the patient. Sometimes they forget, you still need to call and chase. And in many cases, you also need to contact their children to verify certain information or additional documentation. So if they have 10 children, GG lah. So now, that is one case. You multiply it by the number of cases that we see. On a good month, okay, we close, maybe you close the case of 50% of the 70 cases and that's 35, right? So 35 in January, you bring over to February. February 70 cases plus your 35 active cases, the ones that require follow-up. That's how many? 115 in February. You just do the math, okay? And you'll start to see that there will always be backlog and it's impossible to close the cases on time. Because you know why? I'm not Octavius. I only have 10 fingers with 2 hands. So then what happens? People will just start falling through the cracks. You forgot to put up an application. You forget about this patient. You don't follow up with the older patients because the new ones need your attention. And it just goes on like that. So what am I trying to say really? When Straits Times asked this question, how we can better support social workers, I laughed. Because you know why? Most of us come into this industry with the genuine desire to help society. It would be nice if society can also extend some grace to us as social workers, but we are never here for the money. And when something so tragic like that happens, it's never intentional. Yes, there is still a lot more to be done. So for what it is worth, I'm just sharing my experience. And Parliament, this is for you.